Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Easy! Let's go! Oh! You got this! Oh! Oh! Let's go! Hello YouTube, I want to talk about the meet results real quick. Well, for starters, I weighed in at 173 pounds, and honestly, it's been my lightest in a long time. And I think it's kind of underweight for my size. I'm 5'6". I used to weigh around 220, but then I decided to cut. I did Olympic weightlifting, came back in powerlifting April 20th, and then yesterday, July 20th, actually, I just competed for the second time since 2022. And before then, I competed in USSF in 2019 as like a 20-year-old kid or a 19-year-old kid. I forget which of the two. Technically not a kid, but you know, same idea. And that was squat, overhead press, and deadlift. What I hate about that federation is that it just recently died, and all of the like, there's no open powerlifting that like records that. Like there was the official website for USSF, but it ended up dying. Anyways, I want to talk about what we just saw. So what you saw was a 390 squat, 413 squat, and then 440 squat, so 200 kgs, which I got all three, which I was pretty happy about. And then for bench, you saw 245-ish, 255-ish. I think it was 253 kilos, get kind of weird. And then I tried 275 for one and failed. On deadlift, I took a reasonable approach. I decided to go for 460, which I knew I had, 480, which I knew I had. And I'll get to that in a second because it's like an asterisk on I knew I had. And then 507 for a PR, about 6-pound PR. My best at home was 500 in 2022 when I was super big. My most recent 501 was in April 20th. And yesterday I decided to go for 507, so a 6-pound PR. And it's competition PR too. So PR overall for deadlift, which is awesome. Going into this meet, I had a couple of issues. 2 weeks before, I got really sick, like pretty fucking sick. Like it was bad. I had diarrhea and stuff. I was dying, running a fever, but I still trained. I went with the barbell medicine logic, like go in there, RPE it. If it's bad, then manage the load. And like I tell you, it's bad because even this last week upcoming for the competition, I hit a single at 390, which was my planned opener for my squats, and it moved slow as fuck. And then I also hit my 360 back offs, and it moved slow as fuck. And they were feeling like I did triples with it, and it felt like RP 9 to 10. For deadlift, actually, right before competition, like the Monday of this week, I hit 435, and that moved super slow. And I didn't even upload it to YouTube because I was like, why the fuck would I upload? I was kind of worried of going into this meet yesterday, all messed up. Good things good. I weighed in. I came into the competition after weigh-ins. I was feeling pretty good. Squats started up about an hour or two later. Hit 390, and that kind of set the tone of the meet. Like, it went really easy. It felt like my opener should have. It didn't feel as grindy as it did Monday. Then after that, the meet really was good. 440 was kind of a YOLO attempt because I had planned it out with my brother, and I said, what should we do for a second attempt? I was originally thinking of going for 425, but then he was like, why would you do that? You should just take something, reasonable jump just to get your body prepped for a 440. Because if you go 425, you might just leave it all at 425 instead of, or if I would have gone for 430 and then 440, you might have just left it all in that second attempt versus going for a decent jump. So we went for 413, which was a good move. And in 440, it was a grinder. To me, it felt really heavy. In the video, I don't know if you can tell if it looked heavy, but it felt heavy. And I got it, which was great. It's my heaviest squat without a monolift, because my heaviest squat ever, period, was 462. But I was also I weighed in at the 198 class in 2022, and it was on a monolift, so I didn't have to walk it out. And that's big. Not walking it out, it's huge. So I had to walk this out, listen to commands. It was very different. On the US APF meet in 2022, I did it on a squat bar. Here I did it with an Ohio power bar, which it is a difference for people who don't know. And without a monolift and having to walk it out. So it's my heaviest squat in competition without having a monolift. It's awesome. And grinder, but I got it. For bench, I was kind of doing the same approach where I said, okay, 425 was easy, 453 was easy. My original plan, third attempt, was going to be 264, but in the moment, in the heat of the moment, I said 253 went easy. I should have probably, and it felt good, like I probably could have gotten 270. I know I could have gotten 264. But something inside of me was just like, bro, I want to PR my bench like a dumbass. I wasn't ready. But if you see the video, I got stuck on lockout position, and lockout position has always been a big thing. My triceps has always been my big weak point. I think, honestly, with another couple blocks of like direct tricep work, more close grip bench, I can get 275 even higher at this lighter body weight, which is kind of outstanding because I didn't think I'd be able to. And I didn't touch anything close to that. So I got super greedy on bench. I wanted to PR, and it didn't really work out. And the logical approach, same thing with deadlift. I said 460, something super easy, 480, something super easy. Although in my training leading up to it, because I got sick, 480, actually, I pulled 480 as a grinder 2 weeks out. And I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to get anything high on competition. Luckily, the fatigue, dissipated. And then going into the competition, I was really, really fresh. And I still had a lingering cough, but luckily, the 480 I pulled in comp wasn't the 480 I pulled at home 2 weeks earlier. And because 2 weeks earlier, that shit was shaky as fuck, and I almost missed it, but I hit it. Here in comp, I was afraid, but it went up. Then 507 went up really, really well. I was surprised how well. I probably could have loaded up 512, but I went 507 just to be conservative after missing my bench. And even then, I was a PR, and I was happy. So what's next? Well, it's pretty simple. I want to focus. I read... Next, I'm not going to go directly into competition just because I have vacation planned. I'm going to go see Bud Crawford versus Israel Madrimov. I'll get a video on that. People who like boxing, I love boxing. I'm going to that event. Eminem's performing. I'm going to LA. I'm spending a week in LA next week. So this upcoming week, I'm just going to play around in the gym just to not lose, because I don't want to take 2 consecutive weeks off. I'm just going to go in there, do some high rep work. Nothing too formal. Then I come back. So next week, I'll do, this upcoming week, I'll do that high rep, nothing too formal. Then go on vacation, come back, do something informal again. Because the week after that, I got to go to Canada for work. It's kind of annoying, so I can't really prep for anything. But around August 19th, I'll start an official hypertrophy block. I'm thinking of running... I recently bought Base Strength, Peace Strength, and then Superior Deadlift by Alexander Bromley. I really like his YouTube videos, and In conjunction with practical programming, I think I just wanted to try something different. I want to see what he thought. In conjunction with practical programming with Rip and Baker, to start like programming my own things a little bit differently. So I'm going to take a good hypertrophy block starting on August 19th, maybe 10 to 15 weeks of just pure higher reps. Obviously keeping in the main movers, but I want the higher reps to help like lagging muscles, mainly like my triceps or bench, my hamstrings for deadlifts, because clearly that's my limiting factor there. And then probably some quad work for my squat, because low bar squats really don't do well for quad development. And then after 10 to 15 weeks of strict hypertrophy, and assuming I don't have to fly anywhere else for work, because they put me in the international division, so I don't know how flights are going to work. That's going to get interesting. Assuming I can have a solid 12 to 13 weeks of training post hypertrophy block, I want to jump back into competition, see where I can improve, and pretty much set a goal of a 470 squat in comp, walking it out. I think I want to stick to USAPL. They've been treating me well so far. I mean, I like their guys, their federation. The guys here in Illinois are real cool. And it's the same guys I saw actually in Lockout Fitness, like the guys running the event. Not the exact meet people, but like the main judge, the guy who checked you in, the same exact people. Real nice guys. And I'd probably do it again. I originally wanted to do 3 in a year. So like, December probably ain't going to happen just because of how it's going to work out into hypertrophy block, how I want it to work, and all the work travel and in my vacation. Originally I wanted December, but it's not going to work that way. So probably mid next year, and we'll see what happens. A good solid 10 weeks of hypertrophy, another solid 13 to 12 weeks of single work and 5x5s, maybe even a Texas method. We'll see. I just have to decide my programming post the hypertrophy block, and then my goals were really a 470 squats, which I would be finally a PR at the 170, 82 kg, maybe even 75 kg weight class in USPL, because I weighed in at 173, which is 78.8 kgs, and I competed as an 82 and it got second place. But if you really think about it, that's not bad. The guy, I mean, like second place out of 4 or 5 people, pretty good. But I was a blown up 75 kg lifter. If I would have just cut 2-3 kgs, I would have won the division right under me, because like there's only one other person at 75, and his lifts weren't all that. To be honest, the last couple of meets I've been at, the 75 kg class, these guys aren't as like strong as me. So if I cut like 2-3 pounds or 2-3 kgs, I can win these places. But I'm not too competitive in that sense. So I cut water once and that shit sucked. Outside of that, that's all I really have. Except for what I want in the future. So hypertrophy block strength, and then after that, my competition next year, my goals would probably be a 470 squat in pounds, a 275, 280 bench, which would be PR, and then probably a 520 deadlift. I think I could probably get that. Like in the long run, my end term goals, I want a 500 squat, or I want a 600 deadlift, and I probably want a 315 bench. But I've learned throughout the years that you don't plan for the long PRs, because then you lose motivation. You go for the smaller PRs and you keep moving. So like logically, I want those 315 bench, I want the 600 deadlift, I want the 500 squat. But you want small goals, like 470, shit, even 460 on squat, like at this lighter body weight, and unrack, walk it out. That's a huge goal. Same thing with bench, 275. It's almost there. I know I have it. A couple more, tricep work, and I know I have it. Then we'll go for 315. On deadlift, it's my favorite lift, but I have to be smart, right? You can't just think 600. You got to think like 550. You got to think 520. Like I went from 501 to 507, which is great. Like, as an intermediate lifter, adding a couple pounds of your strength is huge. Anyways, I think I've rambled on long enough. So that's my overall, I'm happy. I went 8 out of 9, and I hope that within the next year, after a hypertrophy block and after getting all my new work things situated, I can compete again and get those higher numbers. That's all I have. Like and subscribe if you liked what you saw, and I will forever upload my training footage. Peace.